Good morning, grade 9 students. Today you're with me for another topic, and I want you to ponder in this question first. Why consistent verb tenses matter in writing and speaking? Why do you think we, as writers, should observe these consistency? Another question is, can you still recall the different type of verb tenses? So the goal of this video discussion is for you to learn at the end of the lesson how to identify inconsistencies in verb tenses. Again, let's have a short recall of what are verb tenses. So verb tenses show time. Verb tenses tells when an action happens. It can be during the past or present and even future. So common tenses used in storytelling, of course, are past, present, future, progressive, and perfect forms. And I want you to recall each verb tense's function and purpose. First guideline that you have to learn to identify inconsistencies in verb tenses. Number one, maintain one time frame. What do we mean by one time frame? So do not shift from one tense to another when describing action happening in the same time frame. So verb tenses should be consistently used and do not use different types of tenses in one sentence, specifically when it tells or talks about a specific time frame. Like if it is present, you should use present. If it is past, you should use another verb in past. You don't mix and match. I have here an example. The console discusses the form to the clients who inquired during the interview. What have you noticed in the sentence? What inconsistency can you see? Okay, so here in the example, the console discusses, which is in present, and then followed by the form to the clients who inquired. Please take note of the inquired and the discusses. They are in different tense, right? The discusses is in present, the inquired is in past. And as you can see, the sentence is in present during. So everything is in present, but we have here a word or a verb in past tense. So automatically, this is an inconsistency in verb tense use. So what should we do? Okay, again, like what I have mentioned, the word discusses is in present, and then the word inquired is in past. So there is an inconsistency of verb tense use. To correct this, obviously you just have to first, both verbs must be in present tense. Next, make sure that your verb tense is clearly used and consistently used. So, first thing that you have to do is analyze the sentence. Is it in past? Is it in present? Is it in future? So that you know which tense to use. I have here another example. When afternoon arrived, the sky turned crimson and the sun sets beyond the horizon. What inconsistency have you noticed? There's another rule of thumb in the use of verb tense. Avoid unnecessary shifts. So mixing tenses make actually just confuses the timeline. So here we have when the afternoon arrived with with D, which is in past, and then the sky turned correct. So they're both in past. So the inconsistency happens in the words in and the sun sets. It is in present, right? So and the sun set beyond the horizon. You make sure that every verb in the sentence is in past because the sentence is in past. So how to correct that? Here, arrived, turned are in past, but the word or the verb set is in present. So mixed tenses interrupt the past's narrative. Of course, just simply change it to past. Just simply change it to remove the s and retain the word set. There, as you can see, if you read again the sentence, when afternoon arrived, the sky turned crimson and the sun set beyond the horizon. There you can see, you can hear the smooth narration in past. All actions are in past. So reminder, be careful or be mindful when narrating different time frames. Because there are sentences that states different tense or different time frame. But be very careful when a sentence is in one time frame. There you can see its inconsistency. Sometimes shifts are correct. They reflect the actual timeline. It depends again on the time frame or the timeline. So make sure to check for logic and clarity. Ask yourself, are these actions happening at the same time? So there's a possible, and then if it happens in the same time and then there are different verb tenses used, it automatically use an inconsistent verb tense. So use the same tense if it happens in the same time. And another question that you should ask to yourself is, are these actions happening at different times? Because if it happens at different times, use different tenses to show sequence. I will show you sentences that are or that happened in different times or in different timeline. And there we can accept shift in verb tense. Number three, the farmers protect their crops which they sowed themselves. This sentence is acceptable, right? There is an acceptable shift. The farmer protect their crops, which they sowed themselves. Protect in present, it is an ongoing action. Sowed is in past, completely completed action. So it's acceptable because the action happened in different times. Next, another example. So it's a shift from past to past perfect. Even before the locusts attacked, many farmers had already prepared a warning signal system. So, there, in the first part of the sentence, we have a verb attacked, which is in past, and then had prepared, another in past, past perfect. Diba? Had plus prepared. It's now in past perfect. But it is correct. It shows a correct time sequence. It shows an action completed before another past event. So we accept this sentence. And lastly, or another example is present plus present progressive plus future. The former are building a big fire because the smoke will drive away the locusts. Are building in present progressive, it is ongoing, and then plus the will drive, which is in future. It's the expected result. Okay, so this is accepted or acceptable because the future action depends on the ongoing action. So we have here key takeaways. Use consistent tenses when describing action in the same time frame. Next is only shift tenses when the timeline intentionally changes. Um, Check whether your sentences clearly show when each sentence are in a specific timeline. Again, that's what I mentioned a while ago. So make sure that Clear verb tense is equivalent to clear communication. Our main goal here is to avoid confusion. Okay? Again, use consistent tenses when describing actions at the same time frame. Only shift tenses when the timeline intentionally changed. Always check whether your sentence clearly show when each action happens. And clear verb tenses or clear is equals to clear communication. I hope this simple discussion helps you understand the function and the function of verb tense, and at the same time know the inconsistency of verb tense. Thank you so much, grade 9, and have a blessed morning.